Hey T Squad, happy Wednesday. It's your girl Keisha, and I'm here with this week's All Tea, All Shade, Next Gen NYC, Season 1, Episode 5 review. This was another really good episode. I'm really starting to dig this show. I think Bravo might have another hit on their hands here. So this week's episode picks up where we left off last week with Ariana confronting Ava about basically insinuating that she has no style to be a fashion designer. So Ava doesn't back down, but kind of like tries to skirt around it to try to make it not seem as bad as it was, and says, all I said was, I was surprised you moved to New York to start your fashion brand. And Gia jumps in. It was like, well, why is that so surprising? Brooks and Georgia, mind you, are sitting behind them cracking up laughing because it's so ridiculous. It's so ridiculous. So then Ava was like, when I've seen someone with a fashion brand, I usually can tell what their point of view is. So it was like, girl, you still are insulting her. So Gia was like, so you're basically saying she has no style. Everything you're saying is insulting. So Gia, mind you, is talking with her hands, right, reaching past Ariana, who is in the middle of them. And Ava asked her to, get her hands out of her face. And she was like, this is how I talk. I'm Italian. If you're not used to it, get over it. Okay. And if she would have popped you, then you would have had to get over it because she asked you nicely. And don't nobody care about you being Italian. You cannot be doing all of this when you talking to somebody, little girl. And that's the thing that I don't like about Gia, is that she has this entitlement about her where she think that she won't get pressed. Like, you gonna come across the wrong one and find out, okay? So Riley in her confessional was like, whenever anyone argues, Gia loves to put herself in the mix. I don't feel like arguing with you over someone else's issues. And I agree. Like, you have to let people handle their own scandal. Ariana ain't no punk. She was handling herself very, very well. Like, you don't have to get into everything because you're going to be the main one. When somebody offends you, you're going to go running and crying about it. Much like the whole Riley situation, where you took that one little thing and made it be such a big thing now between y'all. Like, please get somewhere and sit down. Okay. Because just because them Jersey people play with you don't mean that everybody else is. So Ava hit Ariana back with, sorry, I hit an insecurity. Like, I was like, damn, Ava, like, geez, Louise. I do like the fact that, like I said, she wasn't a punk about it, but like, you should have just apologized. Like, that was a bitchy thing to say. It really honestly was. So then we see in another scene, Riley visits Ariana and Hudson at their new apartment. And Riley is like, she is surprised because Ava told them that her mom styles her. So you want to talk about people in a fashion, but you don't even have any fashion sense of your own when you're letting your mama dress you. And based off the clothes she be wearing, she needs to sue her mama because the outfits that Ava be wearing be a hodgepodge of foolishness. Like, she just be wearing any and everything. It don't have no rhyme or reason to it at all. Ava asks Charlie when they have a little link up, are he and Georgia still besties? And he was like, remember when she used to land at my house? And Ava was like, yeah, she would sleep over. He was like, no, Georgia was homeless, living on my couch, eating my scraps. And I was like, dang, this how you talk about a friend, let alone somebody you used to be best friends with, literally talking about her like she a dog off the street. Like, Charlie is such a little prick, bro. And when that little nigga is dropped down a peg or two, I feel sorry for him, honey. Feel so sorry for him. Okay. Now, mind you, him and Ava linked up because they went to the Slutty Vegan location in New York. And the owner The black lady that owns it was saying that she's having trouble maintaining all of the locations or whatever. So I guess she was looking to sell that one to Dame, and Dame was looking for Ava to run that location, and he was on FaceTime with them asking Charlie would he want to be involved, because Charlie actually has a master's degree in hospitality or whatever. Like, he has the tools, he's just not doing anything with it, So I wouldn't necessarily go in business with Dame. I don't think that that's a really good idea. I think the reason why Rockefeller was so successful is because he had Jay and Big there to say yay or nay on things. With him being the spearhead of things and not having anybody to be like, nah, that's not a good idea, or no, we shouldn't do that. I think that's the reason why Dame has taken so many L's in business, and because he's put too many eggs in one basket. Like, he just hasn't concentrated on one thing and made that be what it could be. He's just been here, there, everywhere, like doing everything. And I think that's why he's in financial ruins to this day. So Omar and Georgia have a little romantic dinner together. And the discussion comes up of him telling Georgia that he loves her after only 2 months of dating. 2 months of dating, and y'all going into business with each other, and this man telling you he love you. Like, what the hell are y'all doing? What are y'all doing? This is not Love Island. Y'all need to get somewhere and sit down. Like, it is just one bad decision after the next, because I see this going so left, especially with y'all trying to do business with each other. But Georgia brings up the fact that I guess he must have told her at one point he was talking to some girl and told her that he loved her the first day he met her. So she was like, to me that screams BS. Like, come on now, bro. And I was like, yeah, it ain't screaming, it is yelling, hollering, okay? So Omar was like, but I didn't actually mean it. And she was like, well, then how do I know you mean it now? Like, to me, like, are you just throwing the L word out to any and everybody? Like, what's that about? So Georgia in her confessional says, I have such trust issues because I found out my dad had this secret life. Unbeknownst to my mom, the company they built together, my dad bankrupted. So when my dad left us with nothing, it changed my life forever. Yeah, that would give me cause for the pause. Yeah, I would have trust issues too, knowing that things like this can happen to people where they show you one side of themselves and then it's a whole other side of them that you had no idea was there. And for you to do somebody like that, put you and your family in bankruptcy and then dip on them and be like, handle it yourself, is foul. So foul. So I get her having trust issues. But with that being said, I would think that you would be like, yo, we need to slow down, chill. Like, ain't no reason why you should be jumping into business with somebody when you talking about you having trust issues. That's one of the ultimate forms of trust. Like, yeah, they age is showing. So it's the day of Meredith's caviar event that Georgia and her business partner Danny are throwing. And it's been a whirlwind to get to this day. At one point, the caterer that they hired, they went to the location. The people had been evicted, child. They had to scramble and find new caterers. Like, it was a mess. So at the event, Charlie is blowing Georgia's phone up asking about these speakers that he let her borrow. And Georgia is like, I'll give it to you in the next couple of days. Now is really not the time to be asking me about your speaker. Do you need it right now when you're coming to this event tonight? Like, I get that. Like, okay, you want your speakers. You know where I'm at. I can't just stop and go home and get you the speakers right now. I'm about to see you in a minute. Like, it's not like you're about to be using the speakers right now. Like, come on now, be for real. So Charlie is on the phone and was like, no, but I need it back right after because I'm having people over. And Georgia says, relax. You asked me like yesterday to do this. You'll get it very soon. So she gets off the phone with him. Like, she busy. She's scrambling to get this event off the ground. Like, it's some speakers, bro. All the money you got, you can't, if you that desperate, you can't go and buy another thing of speakers. Like, come on now. It's not that deep. You just want something to harp on because you ain't got nothing else going on in your life. That's what it's giving me. So Ava arrives super late. Now, mind you, they said that she was literally a block away, but I guess she didn't want to come outside because it was raining. I don't know what is up with this generation, but literally my son, his whole life, y'all, does not like going outside in the rain. He will avoid it at all costs. It could just be a sprinkle. It's raining. And I'm like, okay, and you act like it's going to burn your skin. It's water. Like, what? Like, this generation is built different, yo. So, where was I at? Ava and Ariana let it be known that they actually have had a conversation since their run-in, and Ava actually texts Ariana and said, hi babe, it's Ava. I just wanted to reach out and let you know I really didn't have any bad intentions with what I said to Brooks. I think things got confused without the correct context, and I'd be happy to talk in person on or off camera to give you more clarity on what was said. What I meant, but truly, well, she said what I meant with a heart emoji, but truly just know I would never talk ish on another woman trying to start a new business, etc. Now, this was back in July because it got the little date right here. And I hear what you saying, but you was being funny. You was talking ish. Like, just own up to it. You was being a heifer. You were being a mean girl in that moment. Like, just own up to it because that's exactly what it was given. But they trying to move on and just be over it. But Ava lets it be known in her confessional that the day she was, I guess, filming her confessional, that Teresa Giudice had followed and unfollowed her on Instagram, and she was like, I don't know what that was about, but I don't even want to know what that was about, which is weird because Teresa, why are you getting involved in kid stuff? Why? You bored too. Like, you got bigger things to worry about, like all that money you owe the IRS. Like, please stop, because you don't want Dame to cuss your ass out, okay? So Amira in her confessional says, hearing the comments Ava made to Ariana definitely put a bad taste in my mouth. There is a sense of entitlement there, and it very much is. And I love that Amira is the voice of reason. I wish that they showed her more and we could really get an in-depth look into her life, because if you're not a person like me who follows her on social media, then you don't really know her journey and everything that she has going on and her background and things like that. She's the most level-headed, it seems to me, out of everyone. And she's very right about Ava. And what's funny is, Ava, you would think that you and Ariana would have like the most in common. Both of y'all came from wealthy families who are now broke. Like, literally, it was just a story the other day in the news about how Ava was evicted from her $10,000 a month apartment because she couldn't afford it. Her daddy couldn't afford to pay for it anymore. Like, girl, you and Ariana are like this when it comes to parallel lifestyles. You should be trying to become her bestie at this point. So Riley links up with her mama and Todd and her little brother and sister at the hotel that they're living in. They're on the rooftop and they discuss her future. And Riley says that she doesn't want to be in Candy's shadow. She wants to do something that Candy has not done before, like being a DJ. And Candy was like, well, what about law school? Like, we've discussed that you were going to law school since you was a little girl. And she was like, well, that's something that I can go back to maybe in a few years. And I mean, I get it. You don't want to pressure your child to do something that they don't want to do anymore. Just because that was a goal of theirs at one point doesn't mean that is where they want their life to go. I mean, being a DJ is a career choice, and it could be a very lucrative career choice. DJs make a lot of money if they blow up, and she has the platform to be able to blow up and get gigs and bring in really great money, so it's not like she can't be successful doing it. And I just think that you have to let your kids explore and see what it is that they want to do. You know, she's giving her a timeline of, hey, at this point, I'm cutting you off financially. So if you're going to explore, you better do it right now, because as soon as I cut your ass off, you better get you a job. Period. You know, but I think that she needs to let her explore and do what she want to do. So Ariana arrives, and she and Candy and everybody hug and was talking about how great it was to see her after all these years. And Ariana says that, you know, Riley is her best friend since she moved there. They're practically together every day, and it's still the same way as of right now, present day. And Candy was like, I love this. I love that y'all have rekindled y'all friendship, because at the end of the day, what happened between her and Kim ain't got nothing to do with the kids. You know, just because she's Kim Zolciak daughter does not mean that she is a replica of her mother, you know, so it shouldn't be the sins of thy mother when it comes to her. So then Ty was like, you know, what's going on with this dude y'all got into it with, talking about Charlie? And Riley tells them about how they went to this exclusive nightclub in New York called The Box. I looked it up, and it's very exclusive. You have to have reservations to get in. The minimum spend is like $1,200. Like, it's very, very hoity-toity exclusive. They have burlesque dancers. They have performances nightly. Like, it's like an erotic type of vibe. It's a kiki, right? So they were all there at this nightclub, and Charlie came with like 10 hoes. And Riley was like, I literally had nowhere to sit. Mind you, they all got a table together that they were going to split, because it's that exclusive. Like, you got to pay a coin for a table. And she said that she ain't had nowhere to sit. Meanwhile, you expected me to pay for this table, and you got all these heifers here, and then I ain't even got no place to sit. You out your rabbit mind. Okay. So she says, mind you, they were not only sitting in her seats, but drinking up all the alcohol, which was 1942, that they had to pay for. And y'all know how bottles are in a club. Hell, in our little rinky-dink cities, you gonna pay $300-$400 for a bottle. Just imagine if you in New York City trying to get a bottle of 1942. It's gonna be in the thousands. Ridiculous. So Candy was like, I paid for 1942 bottles. And Riley was like, I paid for it, Mom. And Candy said, with what? And she was like, my money. You mean the money your mama give you a month? Like, I know you lying, girl. So Candy was like, it better not be on the card I pay for. And you know that it was. She was like, what did he chip in? And Riley was like, basically, he's mad at me because I kicked him out of the table. And so Ty was like, well, how much was it? Riley was like, a total of $14,000. And Candy was like, what? $14,000? She was like, but no. My part was $7,000. But Amira is splitting that in half with me. I'm like, if I got to pay all of that to go to a club, girl, I'm gonna have a club in my house. Girl, y'all little kids is spoiled. And I know I can't talk because I have spoiled my son rotten. Spoiled him rotten. But I do have a limit. I have a limit. And I could never see myself giving Kyrese money like that to blow. First of all, Kyrese wouldn't even blow it on stuff like that. He's not even a nightclub type of dude or whatever. Like, he's very stingy with his money. Kyrese would be looking at you like, I know you lying. I am not about to be paying thousands of dollars to be in a nightclub. Child, please. But we all went through that nightclub stage in our lives, so let them live. But that's crazy. So Charlie and Dylan, roommates, they link up together, and Dylan asks him, did Riley end up paying for the table? And Charlie was like, yeah, she did, and I assume that's why she felt entitled enough to say she didn't want our money, which I wasn't mad at. You damn right she felt entitled enough to tell you, A, you can't sit with us, but B, yeah, if I'm telling you you can't sit over here, then no, I don't want your money, because if I take your money, then that means you can sit over here. Like, Charlie is a spawn of Satan. I feel bad for him, because baby, that fall from grace, it's already happening. But when he plateaus, ooh, child. So then Charlie is once again asking Georgia for the speakers. At this point, it's like he's texting her about it every day. And I mean, if you want your stuff, you want your stuff. He's even asking like, hey, I'll send an Uber over there to get it. And she's steady like, you know, you just asking me about this on a day's notice. I got a lot going on. She wasn't even at home. She was out handling business. And I understood that as well. Cause like, I can't give you something and I'm not even at home. And she also goes on to say like, everybody got something going on. Everybody's working. Charlie does not work. He just sit at home, get high, watch cartoons, skateboard. He has absolutely nothing going on with his life. And, she tells him that she would give it to him by Monday. So the rest of the crew is out, and the only people wasn't there, I think, was Charlie and Ava. I think it was everybody else. And I don't think Chloe was there. But they get to discussing him not paying for the section at the box because he didn't, quote unquote, have his credit card. And Amir was like, well, he did the same thing to me with girls that he brought to the club. And so then everybody gets to comparing notes about how Charlie being not paying people back they money. And Georgia was like, you know, in the past, I would, you know, fit the bill for things and he'd be like, I'm gonna pay you back such and such day, and he would pay me back. But as of recently, he hasn't been paying me back. So he owe her money. He owe Amira money. He owe this person money, that person money. Like he owing all these people money. And Riley was like, how much money does he get a month from his dad? And Georgia was like, I mean, I'm not going to say that. I ain't going to go that route and get to telling this man business. But Hudson says, Dylan told me Charlie owes him a lump sum of money. And they do a flashback of Dylan telling Hudson that Charlie owes him $4,000. And he keep on saying he gonna sell it to him and ain't zelled that man his money. Georgia is like, you know, I'm worried about him. I don't know what's going on with him, but I'm really concerned. Now, mind you, Charlie and Dylan lived with each other. So I'm assuming that $4,000 is coming from him fitting the bill or paying majority of the rent. So like, what are you spending your money on? Dylan, you better get your own place. You better move out and get your own place, okay? Because ain't no way I'm going to be sitting up here taking care of another grown man who get to sit on his ass every day and collect a check from daddy. And I'm out here working, modeling, selling my body on OnlyFans and doing this, that, and the third to make a buck. And you can't even keep up with your half of your responsibilities? Oh, hell no. So Charlie, once again, is texting Georgia, begging him to let him Uber package his speakers. And Georgia is out once again and asking him for some time. Then at the end of the episode, we see Georgia and her business partner, Danny, out having lunch. And Charlie links up with them. And it's clear that he's annoyed. He got an attitude. And he tells them that, you know, Dane wants him and Ava to turn, you know, Slutty Vegan into a nightclub. And Georgia says, you know, why aren't you involving us? You know that I work in the nightclub industry. And Charlie was like, honestly, Georgia, I'm regretting involving you in any aspect of my life. And I said, well, goddamn. Damn. Really? Like, that's insane. And she said, I feel the same way. So she was like, you got your speaker back though, right? And he was like, yeah, but your disrespect and lack of caring. And Georgia was like, you're being an immature brat right now. And he was like, I'm not going to sit here and listen to this. The world doesn't revolve around you. You said you would give it back by Monday. I gave you a week. You broke the agreement. You didn't so much as apologize. You got mad at me for asking for it back. And Georgia was like, you were being absurd. And he was like, he stands up and gets to taking off his mic and was like, you're a stupid, delusional bitch, Georgia. And I said, did this man just call her a bitch over a speaker? Oh, okay. And Georgia was like, I'm a stupid, delusional bitch. Everyone here hates you. And Charlie was like, bro, you would not be on this show if it weren't for me. And Georgia says, you still get money from your dad, $10,000 a month allowance because you're pathetic. You're a piece of shit. And Charlie was like, you're dirt poor. Going back to, that's how he looks at her. That's what he thinks of her. But all of those things are what he honestly feels about himself. Georgia was like, you're going to call me dirt poor because I have to work? You're fucking pathetic. You're almost 30. You're a joke. And Charlie was like, if you were a man, I would slap you in the face. And they all was like, what? And Charlie leaves at this point because he called himself being mad. But this was the funniest part, y'all. It's when the friend Danny say, what type of speaker is it? And Georgia says, like a $200 boys speaker. And Danny says, are you serious? Yo, when white people, I crack up laughing. But like I said to y'all, episode 1, that's how you get to Charlie. You point out his insecurities, the things that keeps him up at night. You're pathetic. You're weak. You're a lame. You ain't got nothing going for yourself. Your daddy don't like you. Your daddy don't love you. Your mama don't love you. Nobody cares for you. Everybody hates you. You're a loser. You say those things to him, that's what's going to take him to a corner in a padded room, okay? He can't handle that. And he is literally walking through life lost. It's actually very sad to look at and watch because he tries to keep up this facade like he's that dude because he's going out to the club and hanging with these girls and all of this, but it's all a facade. It's all a facade. He is lonely. He's depressed. He's sad. He's envious of everybody around him because they do have things going on, but he's too lazy to get up and do something for himself. Like, you should feel crazy being 29, calling your father and asking him, can you loan me an extra $5,000 so I can get this, that, and the third done to this apartment? Like, you should feel crazy asking another man, I don't care if it's your daddy, for money to live. Because like Georgia said, God forbid your daddy die tomorrow, you fucked. Because if Anwar decides to go back to glory, and in his will, he don't leave you nothing, which I could very well see that man doing, leaving his money to the daughter or charities, and then you out here with nothing. Because I can so see that being what that man do to that boy. To teach him a lesson. What are you going to do then? If that daddy cut him off, which I bet you he has and probably will, what are you going to do? You got this little check coming in from the show, but that ain't enough to sustain living. So while you sitting up here trying to act like you so much better than everybody, dog, please. But I very much see, if he don't have a wake-up call, hit rock bottom, and really get himself together, I very much see Charlie being a drug addict, living a very short life. Yeah, I see it being nothing but darkness for him. Like him going out bad. Yeah. Like I could see them. Is that Charlie? Oh my God, look at him. Like on the streets. Yeah. So he better get it together, but because he's a horrible person and he really needs help. Like he reminds me of Jax from Vanderpump. Like he's a horrible human being. Horrible. But I'm gonna give this week's episode of Next Gen NYC, I'm gonna give it a B+. It was another great episode. I really like this show. Y'all let me know what y'all thought about this week's episode down below in the comment section. You guys, please make sure to thumbs up this video, subscribe to my channel, and turn on your post notifications so you know my videos drop. I love you dearly, and I will see you guys on the next one. Bye.